I think we all feel a lot happier this week after the 2-0 defeat of Fulham at Anfield. Certainly happier than we did last week after the terrible debacle that was our game against Red Star Belgrade away. It's good to see us back to winning ways. I do wonder if the manager is... I do wonder if he's slightly prioritising the Premier League over the Champions League. And I wouldn't blame him for that, actually. I think what Jurgen needs is a trophy under his belt. It'll make everybody feel a lot better, I think. And I do wonder whether he's thinking a domestic cup and a real tilt at the Premier League is where the main focus should be this year. And I know we'd all love to win the Champions League for the 6th time, but I can sort of see where he might be coming from then. And I'm sure Jurgen would say he wants to win everything he goes in for, but it was a bit of an odd team selection against Red Star. And yet we were back on top of the league after the Fulham game, albeit temporarily. It's great to see that we are still getting the points in the Premier League and still remaining at the top. I would argue rightfully in second place at the moment, despite not setting the world on fire as we have done in the past, if you like. And we're all sort of beginning to wonder whether this season we will ever get back to those sort of high tempo, putting fire past the opposition in the first 20 minutes, blasting them away routines that we were doing last year. I don't know whether that's going to come this season. I really don't. I think Mo, whether that's post World Cup, I don't know, but I think Salah seems to be regaining some of his original form. His goal scoring is still pretty good. A definite word for Shaqiri, who, for me, of the 3 outfield players we bought in the last summer, Shaqiri's been the most pleasantly surprising. I think his work rate, his attitude, his skill levels, his contribution have all been immense, even though he hasn't played that much. I think he's tried to take his opportunity when he has been selected or when he has come on as sub, and I think he's really endeared himself to the Anfield faithful. I'm very impressed with the man, and he was, 12-13 million quid a snip in this day and age.
Okay, so we got the Fulham game there at Anfield. I was expecting to see a load of goals and a load of high attacking football like last season. We didn't really produce. I didn't think. I thought we were very, very slow tempo in the passing in the first half. We missed a lot of chances, but we got lucky with a couple of chances as well. So it wasn't ideal, and wasn't what I was expected. But again, we got the points. We're flattered to deceive this season, and obviously we got Robbo left back, who was absolute top notch, and Trent, who's hit and miss right back. And then in the midfield there, I just don't think he knows who his best midfield 3 are. And since the formation's changed, Firmino up front is just not fitting in. He's not finding the space in the gaps. There's now Salah's up front on his own, and there's 3 behind, with one of them Firmino. He's not playing the same role, so he's not tracking defenders out. I think he's struggling to find space, to be honest with you. And Shaqiri's lighting up the place and been great for everyone. And so what I'd like to see now is Keita and Shaqiri getting a game on a bit of a run in the midfield, and see if we can get a little bit different in there. I've said it before, we're a bit predictable in that midfield, and when the front 3 aren't playing well, and if we are going to play this new formation where Firmino's not as effective, we need a spark from midfield, and maybe Keita or Shaqiri are the ones who can do that, because I've seen the others and I don't think they can, even though they're good players in their own right. They don't offer that creativity. Trent probably needs pulling out as much as I rate him. I think he's great, got loads of ability. He's a young player, he's up and coming, and he just needs that little bit of rest. He'll have to do that sometimes, but we haven't got a right back to replace him. I think maybe Jimmy Milner could step in for a few games, because I don't want Gomez going there, because Gomez is a better centre half. I'm in the train station here, so you're going to hear a bit of this and a bit of that. So anyway, overall, Robbo man of the match by a mile. Absolute brilliant bargain signing. Brilliant cross for the goal, just brilliant generally, always in the right place, gets up, gets down, both ends, affects everything. Essentially now, I think what we need to do is get a settled midfield with more creativity. I can see him putting Gomez right back against Watford away, I can see him doing it. I wouldn't do personally. I want to keep him and Van Dijk in the centre, but I can see him doing that in away games and getting more height at the back and stuff. But we only need one DM in that midfield. We need more people who can create. The front three there, Salah's looked a bit better this week, but he's better out wide than he is central, but he can play central. You know, and maybe it's looking like from the Red Star game the squad's not quite as strong as we think, though it is better than last season. But, you know, let's just see now. We've got Watford away, PSG and a derby all coming up. It's going to be hard. That's where we're going to see about the rotation, but we do need to start kicking on regardless of points. I'm not moaning here, we've got points, but we're not playing well. I know it's a good sign, but we do need to kick on.